Hello lovely people, welcome to the Geek Cupboard. I'm Penge and welcome to this sort of little nonsensy catch-up video type thing to finally show you the new kitchen that caused so much disruption here at Penge Towers at the end of last year. Now if you've been around on the channel for what, maybe 6 months or more I'd say, then you might well know what this is all about. But if you're newer than that, or if you kind of missed out on all this going on last year, then let me very quickly explain. So back in October last year, we had our kitchen redone here at Penge Towers, and it was properly redone. The old one was torn out in its entirety, a brand new kitchen went in, plus we also had quite a lot of building work done as well to open up the kitchen a bit and make it a slightly better space and all that kind of fancy stuff. And it was really very disruptive indeed, to say the least about it. It caused all sorts of issues with recording things for YouTube and just kind of all sorts of issues with life in general really. So that's the story very quickly summed up, I'd say. I mean, to put it into a single sentence, you could say last year we had a new kitchen and it was really bothersome. That kind of sums it up in one nice kind of neat sentence. But now it's all done. It is all done, it's finished and painted and tiled and floored and kitchened and all that sort of stuff. And my goodness me, it took a while. It took longer than we kind of thought it was going to, and it was very stressful. What with having pretty much the entire contents of the downstairs of our house relocated to the upstairs of our house for 2 months, that was less than fun. I didn't enjoy that at all, but now it is all sorted, which is marvellous stuff indeed. And I did promise to do a video of the finished kitchen, the new kitchen in its final form. So that is what we're looking at today. However, first things first, let's take a little trip down memory lane and have a look at what the kitchen used to look like. So here we go, here is the old kitchen. We're just going to fly through these relatively quickly because, you know, this kitchen is gone now. It's so 2021, this kitchen, so it's all gone. So we'll just look through it very quickly indeed. But yeah, it had this kind of sort of red and black colour scheme, which was okay, but this bit of the house was quite dark. It doesn't get that much natural light. So the fact that we had kind of, you know, a lot of black tiles and black surfaces and then this kind of dark red colour meant that the kitchen was quite dark. So that was one of the reasons why we decided to get rid of this particular kitchen, because this was here when we moved in. We sort of inherited this with the house. And then the other reason was that it was a little bit kind of rickety and falling apart. I mean, it sort of looks okay from the outside, but a lot of the backs of the cupboards were falling off. Some of the sort of handles were a bit rickety. I mean, there's a perfect example where you can see those kind of drinks bottles things there above the ovens. Yeah, that was supposed to be a door and it fell off and we could never get the door to stay back on. So we just kind of left the door off at the end. It was just easier to just not have to put a door on every other day trying to sort of fix a door back in. So it was okay, but it had had its time, I think it's safe to say. And we needed to get a new kitchen in, and it was a little bit of an odd sort of shape. So yeah, the kitchen sort of went forward. So from this view here, I'm stood in our dining room, and then the kitchen goes forward and then goes to the left a bit. And then on the left, can we see what's on the left? On the left is kind of that there. So you've got yourself looking forward toward the sink, like that, the big sink. And then if you're standing at the big sink and you look to your left, there was another little sort of utility room type thing. And that's where we'd keep the washing machine and another fridge and all that kind of stuff. And there was a door to the sort of the side of the house. So that was what the old kitchen looked like. That was the old kitchen, but yeah, that's gone. That's gone now. So there we go. Now let's just have a quick look. So I thought this was fascinating. So yeah, these people that came to actually take this away, let's kind of have a quick look at how they did that, because it was very interesting, because I'd never seen people sort of remove a kitchen to actually then sort of refit somewhere else. So here we go. Let's have a very quick look through those pictures. So these people who came to actually have our kitchen, it was going to then go into some sort of like a sort of a workplace in a warehouse, I think it was. So their kitchen had been flooded and it was completely sort of written off. And then they saw that we were potentially trying to get rid of our kitchen because we didn't really want to just scrap it, because it was sort of okay. It wasn't really our sort of style and it was a little bit sort of rickety, but you know, in sort of a work kitchen environment, it was fine. So yeah, they came along and just said, yeah, we'll have that. And then they meticulously labelled everything. It was fascinating, really. They sort of made so many little sort of diagrams and drawings and things. It was really clever. So yeah, they took the whole thing apart and then, and yeah, put it into a van. And they had all these diagrams of how to, you know, sort of put it back together when they got to where it was going to be sort of refitted. It was very good. There's the lard cupboard, which is a new name that I considered for the channel, but I didn't go for it in the end. But yeah, that was behind something. So it said lard cupboard, which is interesting. And then, yeah, they took it all apart. I mean, look at that. All the things are gone. I mean, some of it was very heavy. I helped out with lifting some of the things. The granite worktops, my goodness me, they were certainly heavier than I was expecting them to be. But yeah, so yeah, look at that. They sort of got just took everything out, and it was amazing, really. So here we go. This is quite good as well. So if we look here, if I get the mouse pointer, there we go. Yeah, so that was the initial picture where we said, oh, I'm looking ahead into the kitchen. So that was where I was stood, and that there, over in that room, that's where the little utility room was. So that was where the little sort of washing machine and the other sink was and all that kind of stuff. And we're stood in the dining room from this angle, and that is the playroom, or it was the playroom anyway. So there we go. And yeah, that is just a view from if you're stood here. So if you're stood there looking to your left, if you like, there's a wall there like that. So that is a window looking into the kitchen. So that kind of weird bit, which must have had tiles on at one point, that there is just on that wall just there, so looking through a window. So there's various walls and bits going on, and it's worth pointing those out because yes, they do go. They've now gone. They're not there anymore. But there we go. Look, there we go. So that's looking forward to that window. If you go to that window and turn left a bit, that's what you're looking at. A door and then tiles, and that's where the washing machine and the little sink was and all that kind of stuff. But there we go. So they came and took those things away. And then, of course, the building work started to happen because the plan was that we didn't want this wall here and we didn't want that wall there. We wanted those gone, away with those walls and things. The only thing is that this wall here is apparently a very important wall that keeps the back of the house up. So they had to do lots of clever sort of, work to do with digging holes and making pillars and putting in girders and other very exciting kind of buildy things. So let's go and have a look at sort of, again, a very quick look at through the sort of the building process that went on to turn this kind of, this thing here we're looking at into the finished version. Now that there is Pete, and Pete is the chap that did pretty much all the work to our sort of fancy new kitchen. I mean, he didn't fit the electrics and he didn't do the kind of, doors and that kind of stuff, but he got people in that did do that. So we basically went to him and went, Pete, please make this kitchen idea happen. We've got this sort of, this plan in our minds. Can you make that come to reality? And he said, yes, of course I can. And this was him starting things off. So that window went out. So we saw that window earlier. It kind of had some clocks around it. So that then went out. And then the kind of door frame went out. And I mean, of course, we have an entire kitchen's worth of stuff now relocated elsewhere in the house. So we've got, plates and bowls and spoons and pans and everything else. All those things that you would have in a kitchen. Everything that would be in kitchen cupboards and stuff is now elsewhere. But of course, this room down here, this was the dining room. So that's, tables and chairs and things to put things and sides and everything else. That's all gone elsewhere. And that over there was the playroom. So all the kids' toys and games and everything else and dolls' houses and stuff, they were also relocated elsewhere. So it was certainly interesting. But there we go. So that's it kind of starting off. That was a back wall, but that got knocked down quite early on. So that is now just kind of, at this point, is just some wood. Just some wood on the back of the house with some holes in, which is a bit weird. It was felt a little bit insecure, but there we go. There we go. So that was where the old window was, and there was a sink there. And then, that was where the back door was. If you remember, there was a back door going out to the side of the house, and the old sink was down here. That's now sort of been removed. We had some problems where we had to remove a bit of the front room wall, which wasn't ideal because we hadn't planned on that. So there was some stuff in the front room. So there was a big hole then cut into the front room, which was not great. And then because they were digging into the front room, making dust, we had to put dust sheets on everything in the entire of the front room. And we kind of assumed that the front room would be safe. We kind of, banked on that being a kind of nice, safe place to go. But nope, so we had to kind of abandon that and live upstairs for 2 months. So there we go. And then it turned into a proper sort of building site. But as you can see, that wall has gone. The wall that was in the middle, if you can sort of envisage that now, that's gone. The wall that we wanted to get rid of. But they needed to kind of have things to hold the house up. So that's what those big green kind of stick things are. And there's the sort of supporty beam things. This stuff over here is the kitchen now. The kitchen did arrive, but because we were behind schedule, they just piled the kitchen up and it was all a bit of a nonsense. That was silly. And more beams being sort of propped up by those other proppy up things. And there you go, even more beams going in, much in the way of beamage happening. And then it started to take shape. So there we go. The beams were then encased into these kind of things up here. The new back doors have gone in. So previously, over that way toward the left, there was a little, that was sort of, the sink was here. The old big sink was there. And then the utility room was that way. and there weren't doors there, and there was a window just there. But we got rid of that window, and then big doors have gone in. It's all very nice, and this is all nice and open now. It's all wonderful. And the walls are plastered, look. There's plaster on the walls that we really hoped would dry very, very quickly. And then the weather turned and it was cold and raining and it didn't dry hardly at all for ages. That set us back even further, so that was fun. There's the kitchen, just packed up, waiting to be set up. There's a bit of floor, because I don't know why I include that picture, but there you go, a bit of floor. And yeah, there's the kind of final picture we have before the actual kitchen went in. Because, of course, we had all this kind of stuff. All the walls were ready. All the floors were kind of levelled out and stuff. And then the wonderful Pete then started putting the kitchen in. So, yeah, I've taken a video for that. So let's go over to the video of the new fantastic kitchen. And let's just see what it looks like now. Okay, so here we go, waiting outside the door to go in. So let us go into the fancy, shiny, exciting new kitchen that caused so much bother. And there it is. And it looks so much better. So, I mean, here is where that wall was that we had taken down. So right there was the big wall. And then kind of along this bit here coming toward us, if you like, was the other wall with the window in it that we got rid of. We got rid of that. So as you can see, it's all sort of lovely and open. And we've gone for, sort of a very modern looking grey and sort of white type thing. That's very in, apparently, so I'm told. Mrs. Penge did a lot of the sort of design choices with this, and then we have ourselves a little sort of seating area over here, which we didn't have before because this was the dining room. So got ourselves a little sort of sofa down here now, and clocks, lots of clocks. Mrs. Penge does love many clocks. So we've got a nice sofa with some cushions and a little sort of a table, which also does have storage in it. There's our pets. That is our Lego aquarium. That's the only pets we're ever going to have. That's it. And then, we spin around that way, many kids' toys. There's the sort of very exciting there's, leg reveal. So I think I do a little dance at some point. But there we go. There you go. Lovely. So that is the new that's the new TV we got. And then we've got the Switch and the Xbox and the Lego Dimensions and all that kind of stuff, which is all very exciting. Oh, by the way, that's a play phone. That's not the state of our telephonic technology. That is just a play phone. Some boxes down there. Now, this right now, I took this video not ages ago, but a little while ago. But that has changed ever so slightly now. There's a slightly different kind of shelving unit thing there. But there we go. And then, more sort of kids' play things. There's the garden. Look, there's a trampoline that's packed away, obviously, because it was it's cold and wintry. And there we go. So that's the old dining table that did used to be where we just were, sort of near where the TV was. But now it's kind of been moved over here. I mean, at the moment, kind of piled high with kids' toys, because, we didn't want them on the floor or whatever. But, they do have a proper home and such like now. Some Lego stuff. And then looking round at the kitchen. So we've got some extra units over here. These are kind of added fairly late on, these two bits. So that's kind of become our main sort of food pantry type thing. And this here's got utility things. So like an ironing board and the iron and the vacuum cleaner and all that kind of stuff. So there and there. That is the fridge and the freezer. There we go. There's some to-do lists for the kids to completely ignore. That's fine. Look, do homework and do all that kind of stuff, whatever. But there you go. So that's stuff to be ignored. There's a clock that is on the wrong time, but that came from my parents' house. We've kept it. It's broken. We've never repaired it. There we go. Look. There is the kettle, one of the most important things in the entire kitchen. It keeps everything running. Some lovely flowers. There's a guest at the table. In case you're interested, hang on. If I pan back up that way, hang on. There's a fancy induction stove thing. That some people do wonder what this is when they come into the kitchen. That thing above there, because it does look at certain angles like a sort of a TV. It's not. It's one of the extractor things with a fancy kind of glass extractor front thing. That is where the tea and the mugs are kept, over there in that cupboard. But there we go. So induction stove thing, and toaster matching the kettle colour. But there we go. Yeah, and there is where all the mugs are. Oh, hang on, we get a sneak. But there we go. Look, that's some of them. Some corporate mugs going on. Look at that. There is more Yorkshire Gold in there. I think the right-hand side is where the sort of unopened Yorkshire Gold is. There's a radiator, wildly exciting. There's the sink. So we've moved the sink over. So in the old kitchen, the sink was on kind of this side here because these doors weren't here. It was kind of the two sinks were on this side, but we've moved it over so you can walk through and out the doors into the garden, which is very exciting indeed. Yeah, I've got some fancy tiles like behind there, so like splashback type things going on. It's really good. It's far better than it was. It is a great improvement. And I mean, yeah, got the micro, the little window down there as well. Little window just for a tiny bit more natural light. That's where all the recycling goes, and there's bins, and that's the dishwasher. And then, yeah, these doors are great because they let in so much light. It's amazing. It's all very sort of nice and light and airy. And yeah, you can sort of prop them open if you're cooking something that's, steamy. Then you can open those doors and it lets all the steam out. And yeah, it's just really good. It's just very, very good indeed. Some chopping board type things, kitchen stuff. And then, yeah, we have our wonderful kind of breakfast bar in the middle. There's our little sort of portal device thing with Alexa on it. But yeah, we've got the breakfast bar. And it's weird how this has kind of changed things. It's weird because we don't really go into the front room. So the front room is on, hang on a minute. The front room is on the other side of there. So that is where the front room is. We don't really go in there. Like the kids don't go in there. Myself and Mrs. Penge go into the front room at the end of the day. But most of the sort of the time we spend as a family is now in here. Oh, there you go. Hello. I'm pointing at something. I don't know what I'm pointing at. Oh, girders. That must be what I'm pointing at. There you go. Beamy type things. Yeah, I think I'm saying that, yeah, there's a girder across there and then a girder across there. Like big kind of, steel type. Steels, that's what they call them, isn't it? Fancy steels. But yeah, this is where that's where the wall used to be. So that's where the supporting wall used to be. But of course, we then took out the supporting wall, hence the need for the great big kind of steel beam thingamajigs. So yeah, I'm still pointing at this. Now, I did record this, maybe a couple of weeks ago, just haven't got round to doing this yet, so I can't quite remember what I was saying, but there you go, I'm doing lots of pointing. Ooh, more pointing. And tapping for some reason, don't quite know why, but there you go, much in the way of tapping happening. Yay for tapping. But yeah, this bit here is great as well. I like our sort of little breakfast bar type thing. It's very good. I do need to get some WD-40 on the stools we've got because they're a little bit kind of squeaky. There's a very comfy beanbag as well. And then, yeah, back to the kind of your entertainment corner and, yeah, play kitchen and various other bits and bobs going on. Bit of washing up basket there. Probably should have moved out the way beforehand. But yeah, it's a massive improvement. It has changed how we do things in the house. Like we spend so much time in here now. And it's all open as well. So, we didn't have a telly before. We had a little tiny telly that never really worked properly. So now we've got a TV. So we can, be in here and we can be watching TV. Oh, and waving by. And, yeah, we can do other bits and bobs in here. And it's significantly better. Oh, there you go. There's the name of the video. It's just a better space. It's a better space. And, yeah, we can see more of the garden as well now. And it feels a little bit more like we're sort of, it's just all more open and way better. So there we go. That is the new kitchen. And that has caused us all sorts of problems. I'll just start playing the video things. Yeah, last year, that caused so much hassle indeed, because of course, we had to move all the stuff upstairs, and it was a great big bother. It was very stressful. There was a lot of takeaways, a lot of money spent on the whole kitchen and the floor and the walls and everything else, but also a lot of money spent on takeaways because we had no kitchen. There was nothing. We had a microwave. So you can have microwave meals, which after a while get a little bit kind of, and that was it kind of really. We bought a steamer so we could steam some veg and have it with microwave stuff. But yeah, we had a lot of takeaway things, went out quite a bit. We relied on people to invite them round to their houses and such like. So yeah, it's done. It was very, very troublesome and very stressy when it was happening, and it did result in some shorter YouTube videos for a little while, not for ages, but for a little while. So yeah, there we go. Well, we shall finish up for now because I keep saying there we go, and that's it. We're just gonna finish things up. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Hopefully this has been interesting or revealing or whatever. And yeah, hopefully I won't ever have to do anything like this ever again. I don't want to do any more kind of grand scale kind of house renovations or anything like that, because it was very, very stressy indeed. So yes, hopefully this is the final one for a good long time anyway, for many, many, many years, hopefully. But for now, thank you very much for joining me in the Geek Cupboard and also for joining me in the fancy new kitchen as well. And I will see you next time.